So I am Carla Lane. I am from Dallas, Texas, and I graduated from U of H in December of 1995. I had no idea, if I'm honest about it. I started working in staffing when I was a sophomore at U of H. I started working for a small Black-owned staffing company as a payroll clerk. I was getting an accounting degree. I just was working because I wanted to get my hair and my nails done, and I had gotten on my daddy's nerves. So I really had no idea that eventually I would buy that staffing firm and turn it into what it has become. The plan was to go to grad school, to go to law school, but other things happened. I thought I was in love, and all that went out of the window. And while all that was happening, I fell in love with helping people find employment. I have always wanted to be an entrepreneur. When I was younger, I thought I would own a law firm because I wanted to be an attorney. And then as I got older, I thought it'll be an accounting firm because I was getting a degree in accounting. So I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. The amazing thing about staffing is the impact that you can have on generations, because we know in our community is that sometimes unemployment is chronic. And so if a child doesn't see a parent going to work consistently, that becomes the expectation for them. So if we can disrupt that cycle, then we can really make an impact that's long lasting. And for me, the daughter of a pastor and a professor and a counselor, legacy is everything. We want to create ripple effects that last beyond our life. And what better way to do that than create a pathway for not just jobs, but careers. And that's what we do at Lane Staffing every day. I lived in the Quad, and I went to U of H honors. So all the honors kids stayed in law. It was like law, OB, the athletes stayed in Bates, and then the other honors kids were in Sedegas. And law was right next to Bates, where all the boys were. So it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. I had the time of my life. I remember I came to college with my best friend from high school. She was in the honors program too. We were roommates. And I remember when our parents dropped us off, I just collapsed in tears. But I did not know that life was just truly beginning for me. I always tell people I grew up on the campus of U of H. I learned so much about myself. I learned how to survive because I came from a very sheltered, my dad was a pastor, so came from a very sheltered environment, very insulated. And U of H, I got to meet all kinds of people. It was amazing. So when I was at U of H, I was a part of the Good News Gospel Choir. Even though I cannot sing at all, I love gospel music, church girl. So, and I met some of the best friends that I still have today. A lot of them, people at U of H, when I was there, we kind of moved in packs based on where you were from. But back then we would all pack up. So I have friends who, once they graduated, went back home, but we're still close to this day. So Good News Gospel Choir, Black Student Union, and then I pledged Delta. And oh my gosh, I had the time of my life. I think the best friends that I have professionally and personally are Deltas. It is one of the best decisions I have ever made in my life. That sisterhood, my sisters show up for me, presenting something, trying to sell something, and somebody will do something to let me know they're Delta. And it's just like this calmness. It is just phenomenal. I had the best time at U of H. Look, I can't help but smile. There's so many great things that happen. I have so many stories. Living in the dorms for me was about not just, of course, because I'm from Dallas, I had to have a place to stay. It became a way of immersing myself in the college experience. Everybody that was close to me was in college. I have a daughter that's in college now, and she didn't live in the dorms long. She lived in an apartment, and she doesn't have a lot of college friends. for me, she grew up with my college friends, because those relationships, you're living with someone every day, you're eating with them every day, you see them every day. When you have a problem, they're right there. And so you create this community that is, for me, it became an extended family. It is forever connection, it is forever friendship, it is forever support, it's forever mentorship. And I don't think that you can get that without consistently being around someone every day, and they get to know you and they get to know your heart. They get to know what makes you tick. And so even though I'm very different from a silly sorority Carla jumping around, they know the essence of me is the same. And so they help that person that they know. I know that it is possible to live an amazing life that is good, that is fun, that is full of love and friendship, because I have seen my parents do it. And for me, the material success is great because I do like stuff, but the legacy part of it really is important. And I think that when you succeed, or I was taught that when you succeed, that success is not just for you, it is for your community. That's why you succeed. That's why you're entrusted with material wealth or things like that, is so you can share it. And when you share, then you continue to be blessed and other people open doors for you. I always say people know that if I win a contract, then our community is going to win. I kept all the books in the classes that I struggled. I have them in my library at home so I can look at them and remind myself that you can get through anything. I don't know what it is, but somehow I passed those tests through those study groups that we just drilled the formulas in each other's heads, because it was a group and we all struggled together versus someone struggling alone. It's just a different thing. And that dynamic was easy to create because you're with these people all the time and you're talking about the things that are difficult for you. And if you don't live on campus, it's more difficult to create that because you don't get to know who's good at what. You don't get to talk about it. You don't sit and eat together and hang out together and you figure out who knows what, and then you share information, or you learn which professors to sign up for or not sign up for, or just things like that. So not only is it that village to carry you through your life, but it's that village to help you get through school, because you're going to need a village. You just are. And life in general is difficult to do it by yourself. You need a village. So when the pandemic hit, on whatever day that was when the stay-at-home order was issued, we had 1,800 employees, 13 states. We were rolling, and slowly clients called and said, everybody has to go home. And so we ended up with roughly 30 employees. And then I started to think, how do we get through this? And so I created programs where we train people how to scan people to go back into buildings when things slowly begin to open. So we have temperature checkers working all over in government buildings and schools. I created a training for them, an online training, so that I could charge people to train if they wanted their staff to do it. So I bought a platform, recorded some training, put some tests together. Here we go, I can sell that. Then there was gonna be a need for contact tracers. Okay, how do we find contact tracers? This is a job that you never really thought of, because I don't do a ton of medical staffing, but I do now. Somebody's got to administer the vaccines they're rolling out. Okay, let's get people trained to administer vaccines. It was very much, we're going to either sink or swim. And what I learned from the pandemic was a lot of the things that I was paying for, I didn't need. I just never changed the way we did business when technology changed. But I think, again, with my principle of saying you just do the best you can by people, I got the idea that we're going to pivot. We're going to do this pandemic stuff as long as we can, and it worked. I learned to keep moving forward no matter what at home. I talk about my parents all the time because, I didn't know it when it was happening, but my childhood was the best time of my life. We had a ball. We were loved and encouraged, and a lot of times the things that I've done in my life, I didn't know that I should have been afraid, because I grew up being told that I could do anything. That's what they always told me, go do it. You want to be a cheerleader? Go cheer. You want to take gymnastics? I would just throw my body in the air, and I wish I would have never stopped doing that, but I would just tumble. When I decide I want to do something, I go do it, because I want to. That's really it. I want to, so I go do it. And if I fail, then I'll just try again. And most often people don't see the failures because I fail a lot, but I keep going. And so I succeed a lot too. So right now my daughter's a senior in college. She wants to go to vet school, so we're looking at vet schools. I want to help her do that. I want her to start her business. My dad, like I said, my dad's in heaven now. I take care of my mom. She's 80 and she is chilling. And so I want to continue to love on her and make sure she has everything that she thinks she may possibly want. I want to continue personally to push people forward and help people to dream and to create career paths for people. I want to get back to my mentoring of girls. We had to pause that because of the pandemic. I'm going to keep being me. I'm going to remain exactly who I am. I'm not the traditional businesswoman. I show up authentically myself. So one of the amazing things that happened post-graduation was the University of Houston Black Alumni Association chose me as one of their distinguished alumni. And so when I was told about the award and the event, I was so excited, and I called my parents and I said, I'm getting a distinguished alumni award from U of H. So when I found out, I was so excited. Told me about the dinner, that I would have to make a speech, all of that. Was just uber excited. So I called my parents to tell them about it. And my dad was like, so they don't check transcripts for that? So it's like, I think it's based on overall impact. But it was just amazing to be honored by the university in that way, and to be a part of something that's going to last forever, being part of the distinguished alumni for the Black Alumni Association. The other award I received from the university was the Cougar 100. The first year they did the Cougar 100, which is a luncheon that they host for the fastest growing businesses owned or managed by a university alum. And that year we were number 28. So we were number 28 of the 100 fastest growing businesses, which was a huge, huge honor. In the quad back then, you shared a bathroom, and our suite mate was the RA. So I decided that I was going to boil crab legs in my dorm room, even though my RA is the, okay, so it didn't matter. So I got a big pan and put it in the microwave of water because I figured I could steam them. I didn't factor in the fact that crab stinks, but I was gonna sell these crab legs that I had gotten, a couple of dollars, butter, all of that. And I had the whole floor smelling like fish, and everybody was like, but they ate the crab and they paid me.